Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here and I cannot believe, I know I say this, but I just cannot believe it's time for my May TBR. And I've got a good one this month, as always, and you're all going to go, oh my goodness, what a big TBR. But I love a big TBR and I'm really excited about a lot of these books, so let me show you them. The first set of books that I want to start getting through, and these I have got a little bit extra time, probably an extra week. I've got till sort of the beginning of June, and that is my Bailey's Women's Fiction Prize winners slash longlisters for this year. So I'm not going to talk too much about them. If you want to find out a bit more about what these books are about, then go and check out my video for the Bailey's Women's Prize. But some of these are ones that have won previous years, and some of these are ones that were on the long list, and I don't think any of them unfortunately made it to the short list, but that doesn't matter to me. I really wanted to read them, and I'm going to try and read them before the winner is announced. So I've got The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Bel Canto by Anne Patchett, Ice Cream Star by Sandra Newman, The Girl Who Was Saturday Night by Heather O'Neill, The Life of a Banana by P.P. Wong, and Paying Guests by Sarah Waters. Next up is the BookTube Reading Buddies book group read of the month, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I don't know too much about this. I know a lot of people love this book. I know it's sort of set in a university, it's a group of friends, there's a mystery involved, but everyone raves about this book, and it's now given me a chance to read it. Now it's part of the group read, and I really want to get to this because this month I am also reading The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, and I'm reading this with the wonderful Victoria Harris, and I can't wait. It's a mammoth of a book, but we're going to try and buddy read it together, so I would like to read The Secret History before I get to this if I can. Next up, I am buddy reading with Stephanie from Time to Read, The Martian by Andy Weir, and I'm very excited about this one. I just keep hearing wonderful things about it, so I'm really excited to get to it. If you don't know much about this book, then I believe what I know, it's about a man, an astronaut, who gets stranded on Mars for like a number of years or a year on his own, and he has to work out how to survive. I've heard it's quite humorous and a really interesting read, and he's quite a charismatic character, so yeah, I just can't wait to find out a bit more about this one. With a wonderful friend that I've made on BookTube, who also has been messaging with me on Goodreads, I'm going to be reading These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I've heard lots about this and I'm excited to get to it, and I'm looking forward to reading it with her. I'm going to be reading my first ever Agatha Christie book, and I'm reading that with Tanya from List Obsessed Reader, and we're reading Five Little Pigs. Next is a buddy read with the wonderful Shelley from Collie of the Wobbles. She's awesome. I love her so much. You should definitely check out her channel. And we are reading The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I am the last to come to the party of the YA book lovers for this. So I can't wait to read this. And if I like it, I also own Never Fade and In the Afterlife, so I will try and get through all three. I'm going to try, if I start a trilogy, a YA trilogy specifically, because they're quite fast reads. If I start one, I'm going to try and read all three, so yeah. Then, as you may remember from last month, Sam and I from Cold Tea and Crumbs sent each other a couple of books, 3 books, and we have to pick one for the other one to read. My one from last month that she picked was The Rosie Project by Graham Simpson, and this month I sent her 3 first books in trilogies. I don't know why. I knew I had The Darkest Minds going on. Yeah. So anyway, I sent her those, and she picked Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So if I read Shadow and Bone and I enjoy it, I've got Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising. That might not be in the right order, but I've got all the trilogy. So that's another trilogy that I am going to try and read. I've got some Netgalley books in there that I want to try and get to as well. I'll tell you about them nearer the time as I read them, because I'm not sure which ones I'm going to get to. And then I'm not picking from my diverse jar this month because I've got quite a lot of diverse ones in that women's fiction to pick from. I'm not going to be picking a non-fiction because I've still not got my way through Bonk. I'm still on track because I only wanted to do 6 non-fiction this year, but I really need to sort of get back onto that one. So I'm not going to pick a non-fiction because I don't want to put myself under too much pressure to add another one to that list. However, as always, I'm going to be picking my booktuber recommends. So now I'm going to say it again. No, I'm not going to say it, because if it is The Way of Kings, it may be a big book and I may have a massive TBR, but that's always going to be the way. So we'll just see what comes out. Ooh, 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. So this is my copy of 100,000 Kingdoms. It's a second-hand copy, but I don't mind. And it is book 1 of the Inheritance trilogy. I believe this book was picked for me by Nicole at Nicole's Adventures in SFF. And yeah, I don't know anything about this. It says on the back, gods and mortals, power and love, death and revenge, she will inherit them all. Yane Dar is an outcast from the barbarian north, but when her mother dies under mysterious circumstances, she is summoned to the majestic city of Skye, a palace above the clouds where the lives of gods and mortals intertwine. There, to her shock, Yane is named one of the potential heirs to the king, but the throne of the 100,000 Kingdoms is not easily won, and Yane is thrust into a vicious power struggle with a pair of cousins she never knew she had. As she fights for her life, she draws ever closer to the secrets of her mother's death and her family's bloody history. This sounds really good. So yeah, I'm excited about this one, and I'll let you know how I get on as we go through the month. So I haven't picked as well from my Kindle jar this month because I have got a lot of Netgalley books still to read. I have put myself on a little bit of a Netgalley no watch list because I seem to be picking quite a lot of Netgalley books, and as you can see behind me, I've now filtered off of my shelves and onto everything. Any surface going is holding books, and I really need to start reading them. So I'm hoping to get to all of these books, and then slowly, as the months progress now, start working through the books on my shelves. So have your fingers crossed for me, because again, this is a big TBR. Let's count. There's 18 books. That's quite... well, that's just probably going to be way too many, but we'll see. And also, I have got 2 trilogies in there where I've only committed to reading the first of the trilogy. So, you know, that takes off another 4 books so makes it 14, which is a lot more doable. So we'll just see how I get on. But I do like to have quite a big TBR, even if I don't get to them. But I generally, you know, I normally do get to them, so we'll see. But yeah, what are you reading this month? Any of these books on your to read, and let me know how you're getting on. Do you like TBRs? Do you not like TBRs? I know there's sort of some people just don't like them. I am finding that I like them. And I find mainly that I do the TBRs because I like to do a lot of buddy reads, and so I like to make a note of them, and obviously I like to have them noted down. And also it sort of focuses my reading a little bit, and yeah, I quite like it. But let me know your thoughts, and I look forward to a good reading month in May. Okay, bye for now, BookTube.